Hi, I'm Dean Bushmiller, and this is Privacy Principles and Practices. If you're not seeing the full version of this, go to expandingsecurity.com to get the quizzes, the badges, the mind maps, and the dynamic links that come along with this. This is part of our series on privacy. You can also look for K0768 and K0769. So let's get started. From a conceptual standpoint, we have to develop a privacy program. Now, where do we go ahead and hang our hat on this? What's the name? And you're going to be seeing this a lot. It's the personally identifiable information, or the PII. I'm going to say that a lot over the next hour or so. And that's any type of data that can be directly linked to an individual. That could be your name, that could be your ID, it could be your driver's license, it could be your address. It's anything that is related to you. Now, the problem is that a lot of organizations are ripping away all of this information and saying, hey, we're not going to publish this anymore. And that's great, but your marketing team comes in and goes, I want to go ahead and say, but Dean, we really love you. And Mr. Bushmiller, can't you see why you want to buy this particular product? They want to use that to connect with the customer, and we're tearing it away from them. And they don't like that. And that's kind of the key people that you have to look out for here. It's not that they're bad, it's just their job is to relate and connect. From a policy standpoint, this has to be written at this point. This is one of those things where we're going to have to put it in writing. We're going to be held accountable for it from an enterprise standpoint. The processes. Figure out what your access control is, what your authorization is, and what all of your different PII processes are. You're going to build some technical controls here. Now, these controls aren't perfect because people have to interact with them. If we look at, for instance, the data loss prevention tool that's out there today that's in your organization, it's not for adversarial issues. It's for the people that are making mistakes internally. Oh, let me email all these credit card numbers to somebody with the names attached to them. Well, you go, well, no, we shouldn't be doing that. And most people know that they shouldn't be doing that, but what about the list of all the customers that are going to come to our private party? And we email that around. See, we've got some problems there. And then you go to an event and you see that all the names are printed on name tags and laid out. We can't do any of that anymore. We really have to pull back from this. Now, we're going to need some people to work with us on this, and that's the privacy team. We start with a privacy official. There's going to be somebody that's in charge of all this, and they're going to represent all of the different areas and take on all the different people. And they are that clear privacy leader. We have to establish that. They're going to report to the board, to our larger team that is in charge of what's going on in our enterprise. Specifically, the people that they're going to interact with are people like legal, human resources, and then sales and marketing. After that's established, now what we need to do is we need to keep people in the loop. All of the people that work in our organization, work for our organization, and even those ancillary supply chain people that are inside of our business, we have to let them know what's going on and how we're protecting it. It's well established in the EU of how to protect and be aware of privacy information. It's less established in the United States. That's primarily because the social media companies have collected up all this data over a long period of time, and they say, well, that data's ours. Now that you've come and played on our social media platform, it's ours, and we can do anything we want with it. We can sell it, repurpose it, and next time that you go to a website, we'll go ahead and put your preferences there for sale so that you get the right advertisement. We do that in the United States and say, that's too bad, we've already got your information. In the EU, they say, hey, look, we want the right to claw that back. We have in the EU the right to be forgotten. So we have these two very, very different systems that are out there for right now. If we look at the principles for privacy, we must promote transparency, accountability, data minimization, accuracy, limit the storage that's long term, and we even kind of throw that away, and we have to get consent. That's very different in the United States than it is in the EU. So we're going to, from here on out, we're going to assume that we're in the most strict privacy place that we possibly can. And so we'll sit ourselves inside of the EU unless I talk about particular jurisdiction or regulations that are out there. From a practices standpoint, we must do a data protection impact assessment. This used to be called a privacy impact assessment. Now they're changing the name of it. We have to look at the subject's request handling, what the person that is. So if it's my information in your database, you have to look at what I care about. You have to set up the encryption and secure data storage so that you're protecting it at all times for me. You set up access control and authentication separate from the protection of your internal enterprise assets. What's your data retention and disposal look like long term? Usually you go ahead and say, I keep those records for as long as I possibly can so I can go ahead and sell to Dean for as long as I possibly can. Now you're going to have to state, we hold your records for this number of years. For instance, if you were to go to my Quizzer site and you were to go on there, you'll notice that what I say is after 366 days, your account expires and it goes away and then I don't know it anymore. You go, well, Dean, I want that account again. Well, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to minimize my holding of your personal information. And in fact, some organizations like mine say, don't give me your first name or last name or your email address. Go create a pseudonym. Go ahead and be Dr. Spock with an email of drspock@gmail.com so that you can get onto the site, but then that's kind of it. And so we're trying to rip that data away. We're trying to reduce our retention on it and dispose of it as quickly as possible and still maintain our relationship. Employees don't know. They're unaware, especially in a social media world that we are in today. They go, who cares? You can go ahead and have my information. What's the big deal? And that attitude for themselves then pervades the attitude for all of the customers in the organization. How do we deal with third-party data sharing? If we want to go to a marketing company and say, hey, we'd like you to go ahead and make our event a success, they'll go, give us your customer list. And then they'll say, that's our customer. No, it's not their customer list. So you have to put contracts in place for this. And finally, we're going to be susceptible to regular audits and compliance checks internally and externally. So I hope you'll join me for the entire presentation.